Bring you some more breaking news now, and India's top ministers are rushing to Ahmedabad after this major aviation incident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to both Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu and Home Minister Amit Shah, directing them to head to the crash site immediately. The situation is being treated with utmost urgency. This situation, of course, a developing one, but to bring you in, if you are just joining us, an Air India flight in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, has crashed around 5 minutes after taking off. The flight was due to land in London. Gatwick was the airport. Of course, London in the United Kingdom. The visuals that we have been showing you, giving you an image and a picture of the live scenes, also the moment that the plane hit a residential area in Ahmedabad. We know that 242 people were on board. We have received some more information about the passengers. This flight took off at 13:38, 8:38 local Indian Standard Time. We've had confirmation that it was carrying 242 passengers and crew members. This on board the 7878 aircraft. The passengers, we have had a breakdown confirming the nationality of those on board. 169 people on board this flight, Indian nationals. 53 are British nationals, 1 Canadian and 7 Portuguese nationals also on the flight which has crashed. Confirmation that injured people are being taken to the nearest hospital. Had reports that Air India is giving full cooperation to authorities investigating this incident, a situation that is currently evolving. More information is coming through minute by minute. The situation is, of course, a serious one. The tragedy, not just of those on the flight, potentially a loss of life for those on the ground. A residential area has been hit. We've shown you visuals, and hopefully we will continue to show you visuals of buildings at this crash site. Blackened high-rise buildings. We've also shown you images of parts of the plane still intact, but with smoke and fire coming from this crash site. Here we go, just showing you now a clear damaged building, a blackened building. We've also had an image of part of a plane looking like it is situated on top of a residential building. A tragic incident that is taking place. A tragic situation that is unfolding on the ground. Conversations with Indian ministers, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, have taken place. A serious, serious situation at play, and we will continue to bring you updates on that. We do have some more information actually coming in right now for you. India's Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has expressed shock over the Ahmedabad flight crash. Jaishankar offered prayers for the passengers and their families as rescue efforts continue on the ground. This sentiment of prayers, this sentiment of hope for those injured, potential safety for some. The situation, of course, is unclear. We've broken down, of course, 242 passengers on board. Extremely disturbing images. We know an investigation has begun. It's an extremely rare situation that 5 minutes after takeoff, a flight crashes, especially into a residential area. We've spoken with experts earlier in the hour who have said to us that a serious investigation will need to be underway. Experts have told us that checks will have happened on engines. It appears that there was smoke coming from the engines before the plane crashed. We've also heard that a Mayday message from air traffic control was not responded to. The last message came just after takeoff. This situation, an extreme one. Of course, this isn't just impacting India. This is being felt across the world. Nationals that are Indian, but also British, Canadian, Portuguese, This truly is a devastating and tragic incident, and more information will come through. We will update you on that. This, an image we are showing you from shortly after the impact, showing parts of the plane still intact. Smoke coming from the wreckage, dust into the air as well. This is an involving situation, a severe and serious situation that will have ramifications. Bringing you another breaking piece of information. Air India have released a statement. They say Air India confirms that flight AI 171 from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick was involved in an accident today after takeoff. The flight, which departed from Ahmedabad at 1:38 p.m. Indian Standard Time, was carrying 242 passengers and crew members on board the Boeing 787-8 aircraft. Of these, 169 are Indian nationals, 53 are British nationals, 1 Canadian national and 7 Portuguese national. The injured are being taken to nearby hospitals. This, an Air India statement, they say we have also set up a dedicated passenger hotline number. Just to read that out to you, it is 1-800-5691 444. Just to confirm again, 1-800-5691 444. That has been set up to provide more information about this tragedy that has just unfolded. Air India continue to say in their statement that they are giving its full cooperation to the authorities investigating this incident, and that Air India will release further information via regular updates on social media and also on its website. This situation continuing to unfold. We're waiting for some global reaction. Of course, we've had confirmation now that passengers, not just Indian on this flight, more than 50 British passengers on board, 7 Portuguese nationals and 1 Canadian national also on board. If you are just joining us, we're covering some breaking news that happened a short while ago at 1:38 Indian Standard Time. AI 171 took off from the Ahmedabad airport in Gujarat, flying to London Gatwick in the United Kingdom, and has crashed around 5 minutes after takeoff. We've had reports of black smoke being seen from the engines. We've also shown you images of the moment of impact. This passenger jet carrying 242 people on board, including staff, pilots, and we know that 2 infants as well were on board, has crashed into a residential area in Gujarat. Several injured people have been rushed to a local hospital. An emergency hotline has been set up. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India has been in contact with the Minister of Home Affairs and also the Aviation Minister. This situation is an evolving one. More information will come through. But this is an incident of tragedy. There is a potential for loss of life on the plane. We have to be realistic. Of course, prayers and hopes are there for the recovery effort, but also this plane was in a residential area. We've seen apparent building damage in the local area. Also shown you visuals from the wreckage where emergency services are working to try and put out this fire and assist in an operation effort wherever they can. An evolving situation, a difficult situation, but one where hopes and prayers are needed. A dark moment, an unforeseen moment, and an irregular tragedy taking place shortly after liftoff. We will, of course, continue to bring you more updates. So we have had further updates. Now, I just bring this to you now. Of course, I mentioned that 53 passengers on this flight that was going to London Gatwick in the United Kingdom, 53 of the passengers were British. We've had comment from the UK Foreign Office. They say that the UK is working with local authorities in India to urgently establish the facts and provide support to those involved. Just to confirm, the UK Foreign Office has said that the UK is working with local authorities in India to urgently establish the facts and provide support to those involved. I bring you some more information now as we continue to show you visuals from this tragic event. We've had reports that the Air India plane has crashed on a hostel building for doctors. This from a police official. This flash that we are getting in, just bringing you in with the latest information that we have. Of course, we wait for concrete confirmation. But police officials saying that the Air India plane has crashed on a hostel building for doctors. The potential loss of life, not just on the plane, but also in the civilian area of Ahmedabad, where the plane has crashed, flying from Gujarat to London, India to the United Kingdom. This happening shortly after takeoff, which was 2 hours ago right now. We're showing you live visuals, but 2 hours ago exactly, this AI-171 flight took off from Gujarat, took off from Ahmedabad. Around 5 minutes later, this crash took place. We continue to show you these live visuals. Efforts by emergency services are ongoing. The smoke is visible. Clearly, the situation on the ground will be a difficult one to ascertain right away. We've had reports that injured bodies and injured people have been taken to hospital. We wait for confirmation on that, but this a clear visual representation of what we are seeing. Apocalyptic scenes right now. Debris across the ground. We've shown you images of debris seemingly not just on the ground, but also potentially on buildings as well. Parts of the plane. We're showing you these visuals right here. Devastating scenes. Devastation as well for so many, uncertainty for so many families, loved ones currently in this moment. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. The thoughts and prayers from across the world go out to them. Britain offering to help. I bring you a further update. The Adani Group's Gautam Adani has said that they're working closely with all authorities and extending full support to the families on the ground. This is an evolving situation, but a devastating one. These live visuals that we are showing you of the crash site. We've shown you earlier a video of the moment that the plane struck this civilian area. We understand, we're waiting for confirmation, but we have reports that a police official has said that the Air India plane crashed on a hostel building for doctors. Smoke in the air, as these fires are being put out. A horrific situation with ramifications globally. Just to bring you back in if you are just joining us. Around 2 hours ago, an Air India flight from Ahmedabad to London crashed around 5 minutes after takeoff. It's crashed, as we understand, onto a hostel building for doctors in a civilian area. We know that 242 people, including crew and pilots, were on board. We understand that there were 2 minors. We wait for confirmation on that, but to bring you in on The people on board, we understand that 169 of those on board were Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 1 Canadian national and 7 Portuguese nationals. This disturbing image, a necessary one to understand the severity of this situation. A civilian area, a plane crashing into that, and a fireball afterwards. A moment of tragedy. To bring you another update as we show you these extremely distressing and disturbing scenes. Boeing has said that they are aware of initial reports and are working to gather more information. Boeing, of course, it was a Boeing 787-8 plane that crashed around 5 minutes after takeoff. That takeoff was at 1:38 p.m. Indian Standard Time. This is a live visual right now that we're getting from Ahmedabad in Gujarat. The sheer level of devastation. You can see the building charred with black marks potentially from the smoke. Damage to that building. Global hopes and prayers are there, not just for those on board as the rescue efforts continue, but for those on the ground in the residential area at the time. Let's just bring you back in, bring you some information. We have had an update from the Ministry of Civil Aviation. An operational control room has been activated at the Ministry of Civil Aviation to coordinate all details. Contact numbers have been given. I will read those out to you now. If you're in the area, if you saw what happened, this a number, contact number for the Ministry of Civil Aviation, 011 2461 0843. Just to reiterate, that was 011 246 10843. Another number has been provided, 965 039 1859.